Hello everyone, my name is Zuzana and welcome to my Piano Promise channel dedicated to help you how to play piano or improve your piano playing. Today I'm going to talk about Chopin and one of his most popular pieces, and also this piece is one of the most popular pieces in classical music. It's Prelude Opus 28 number 4 in E minor. Many of my students ask me if they can learn this piece, and I love teaching this piece. I just love it because it's a beautiful piece. It's very lyrical, poetic. It's very sad, and it's so much of grief and sadness in the piece, and it requires lots of expression. It's quite simple in some ways. It's not too difficult to learn technically. I think it required to be quite mature player with understanding what composer wanted to say. Apparently, Chopin asked to use this piece for his funeral, also another prelude, Opus 28 number 6 in B minor, and they played an organ, and that's why this number 4 prelude also is called Above a Grave. Apparently, Chopin was very scared to die, but of course we all need to die, and I hope that he is happy where he is. So I'm going firstly to play for you the piece, like a full piece, and then I'm going to play the second time, and I'm going to give you a few tips and insights how to play it. I just, over all these years, I actually noticed that people have a kind of the same understanding and make the same common mistakes, and I just would like to share my experience and knowledge with you. So this piece is written in Largo, so it should be played slower. So I think there are different ways of interpretation. There are people who play a bit fast, a bit slower. I think it deserves to be a little bit slow because it's just very reflective, and the melody in right hand is very simple, but just very simple. Simplicity is important, and just to play each note, to give to each note significance and beautiful sound. So let's start. So I'm going to get ready. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to now play it again, but I'm just going to give you, while I'm playing, I'm going to give you a few tips, so I hope that you have your music ready. We will start with right hand. Just talking about the right hand, there is one big long phrase, and you just have to make sure that all the notes under the slur are played well connected, and Chopin actually was very keen on playing things very well connected. It was his big thing to play things in legato, so let's actually respect what he wanted. It's very simple melody, as I said, and just make sure that each of these notes is played strong enough but not too strong, so there is a sensitivity about it. So I'm just going to give you a hint of the first phrase and a little bit further how I think about while I'm playing. So making sure, as I said, B is important. And notice its next note is B, and again he's going back to B. So he's just using semitones or chromatics quite a lot here. And again it's B. Looks to be like B is the very important note for him here. And he's going now to B flat, so he's just turning to the left. Now, as I said, all the time make sure that all the notes are well connected, which can be when you are playing with left, just right hand, and could be forgotten when you play with both hands. And now be careful, the last note A is the end of the phrase, softer. Now we go to G sharp, so you can play it a little bit stronger with accent. And now we go to little phrase and back to the end of phrase. Okay, so everything, as I said, making sure it sounds clear. Okay, that's about right hand. Now, when it comes to left hand, this is very important. So as the chords, there are block chords here, we need to make sure that they sound blocked, because it's supposed to be very played at the same time. Okay, and again very well connected, because many times there is this tendency to play as a staccato or just kind of connect the notes, but not with understanding. It needs to be really well connected, and not making sure that they don't sound like a broken chord, which happens a lot with many block chords as they are written here. So left hand also is going to be lighter, or needs to be lighter and softer than right hand, because melody is in right hand. Yeah, so we have to really focus on being very gentle with each chord, and listen to each chord. Even left hand on its own is beautiful, gentle, and you can actually hear through these chords how Chopin probably felt. As they say, he felt a lot of grief and frustration and sadness in his life. You can get to this some other session about his life anyway, so this is about left hand. This is how you need to play it. Now I'm going to play first part both hands, and then we will probably stop in the second part where it comes to these few bars where everybody's like, now these few bars are coming, and mostly everybody's fine with the first section, first part of the piece, and then there are mistakes happening. So just because that the few bars, they need more strength, and they're more significant in the volume. So as I'm starting, I'm making sure again right hand is stronger. Make sure that chords in left hand are well connected. You can use a little bit of rubato, which means use your little speed as you feel you need to get slower or faster a little bit, according to your feelings. Here, make sure that you play triplet. I feel like I need to create now more tension as I go to these few bars. Wait for this G, so it sounds really like it's a very important note in this piece. And now octave. Now you can find yourself a little bit struggling with this. So there is this octave, and then big skip to another section of the piano keyboard. So what I say to my students, practice that. Make sure that you can be secure with this big jump from B to this the few chords. If you find them too stretchy for you, and your hand is not big enough, or it's not, fingers are still not very flexible, just play C, F sharp and A instead of playing all four notes. Also you can practice as a arpeggio, just to get a stretch, and then also with the next chord in this way. So do it a few times, get more flexibility, and then try again. Go octave, and nice smooth transition to the next chord. Okay, and then you can also practice more right hand on its own. Make sure that you are very secure with this one bar or the few bars here. And now we have triplet, and from there things are getting softer and more gentle. So once more this section. And now we have this triplet in right hand and regular quavers in left hand, so we just need to make sure that it goes between. And now we go to final part of the piece in piano. So things should be more peaceful. Now we have indication to smorzando, which means dying away. So you can get softer and slower, a little bit slow, not too much. We are coming to conclusion. Now this is very important part. I believe it's very important now, the rest, minimum rest with the fermata. So it means hold it longer than 2 beats, yes? So you are creating this quite a significant gap. Rest, right? And now you can also use left pedal just to make the sound softer, if you like to be very gentle with the end. And the last chord in E minor with fermata bar, so it means hold it for longer. Now sometimes it depends who has listened with me. If I have someone again with small hands, and I have small hands as well, I say, okay, if it's too much to play for you the full chord, just use the first 3 notes and just don't play the last E in the right hand. The same with the next chord. Or you can practice before you really reach this chord. Just do it as an arpeggio. The same with the second chord. You should be then more flexible, and then play the last note. And wait longer. Just say there's like really big conclusion. It just needs to be in such a piece with the whole piece, and very soft and gentle, and just wait nicely for the end. And that's it. So I hope that this helped you. As I said, there are a few tips, and it's not long piece. Just if you know a little bit about prelude. So prelude in this case, in Chopin's case, it means that it's about one self-contained piece. So he actually wrote 24 of them, and he was inspired by Johann Sebastian Bach. He was a big fan of Johann Sebastian Bach, and he studied his preludes and fugues. We're talking about well-tempered clavier. And Bach also had preludes and fugues in all keys, and Chopin decided to do the same thing. But when we talk about prelude in terms of Johann Sebastian Bach, we talk about prelude as an introductory piece to fugue, while in preludes, in this case, we talk about the rather shorter piece. His preludes are very popular. I mean, Chopin's prelude. We know about Chopin that he didn't like big performances. Actually, apparently only had 30 performances in his life, and he loved playing for his students privately, and he played only 4 of them as 4 pieces, 4 preludes in one concert, no more. So yeah, there is much more to talk about when it comes to Chopin.